Ready? Okay. Hey, we are live and welcome to the Instructor Mastermind. We're talking with, of course, George, who's head of the instructor program, and myself, Damian Ross, founder of the Self Defense Company. And we're talking about getting off to a fast start. Um, okay, George. So you've got the calm, my friend.
Yes, beautiful. So we're actually addressing two different people today. We're addressing those who are looking at joining us and becoming an instructor, and we're looking at the existing instructors. So let's start first with those who are looking at, joining us. And I just want to talk a little bit about kind of where we're going, what we offer, why self-defense right now is such a huge thing, obviously, and why choose us. So, I mean, first and foremost, I just like to start off by saying that we are not a one and done workshop, right? People
Okay.
aren't coming flying out to us, joining us for a weekend for, 5 or 6 hours, and all of a sudden they're on their own teaching all this stuff that they just learned themselves for the very first time, right? $2,000 and you get no support.
Right.
We are a complete business in a box. And I mean, it starts with as soon as you come on board, it starts with the mentor. And the mentoring is probably our biggest point of difference over the other places that are out there.
Hmm.
A lot of places, they'll provide you with a curriculum, and then if you're lucky, and that's all they'll give you, right? There's no following up with them to ask them questions. There is no personalization, customization options. With us, we're able to deal with, whatever clientele you're bringing to the table, we're able to work with. I mean, following everything within the self-defense training system and all the different additional programs that you've put together, we're able to put together programs specific to, anybody's needs. We've done stuff for, realtors. We've done active shooter programs. We've done just all kinds of things. Realtors has probably been one of the biggest ones that we've done. We've got another instructor who's done some fitness related stuff as well, done really, really well with that. So I guess we'll just kind of start with what they get as an instructor. And I mean, all this information is on the website as well, but we'll go through it really, really quickly. So, I mean, the first thing is you're going to get access to all of the programs. And Damien, correct me if I say anything wrong, but this is everything that we put out, you will have access to immediately as an instructor.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
It's like 59 hours and counting of training courses and content,
Yeah.
not even including, not including the online webinars and like we don't put obviously not podcasts or anything like that. So it's like, you know, the stuff you find on YouTube is just extra.
Yep.
It's just us putting out stuff to connect with the world out there. But the rest of the stuff, it's all courseware, step by step, and they all come with curriculums as well, written out
That's right.
and referring to where they are on the platform since there is a lot of content. So yeah, we got that. Yeah, we got what you're going to teach down, and that's something again, like everyone has their curriculums, I assume, when they come, for other types of programs. I can't speak to the content of everything that's out there. But the reality is, you're getting, a variety of different programs
Yep.
that can be focused towards, different groups. I know George talking about realtors, talk about fitness. I know Jim Nichols was doing a lot with halfway houses and
Yes.
battered women groups. We just as an example, I've got a group from the Department of Justice, about 10 guys that are coming in within the next few weeks to do a training. We set up specific law enforcement oriented we do guardian weapon retention, protector, and the guardian program. Uh, and actually have another group coming behind that as well. So again, and then we help you even locate a space,
Yep.
negotiate the terms. You'll find a lot of people, especially now, are trying to figure out how to make most of the space. The times that are down. I mean, everything from I've got two places that I'm primarily using. One is a martial arts school. The other one is a lacrosse academy.
Yep.
So, they've got, we teach, we find out when your off hours are, and then we go. Most of these places are really just booked um, Monday through Friday, usually during the late afternoons to early evenings. So you've got weekend opportunities, you've got during the day opportunities, and even some nights during the week because they're not going, they're not running classes every day. And look, I mean, we'll help you negotiate, price that you're going to pay for space. Help you get supplemental insurance if they require it. It's really um, relatively inexpensive.
Yep.
Like you can get event insurance for like $50, right? So I mean, it's not like you've got to enter into these long-term contracts. And I think a lot of people who start, there's a lot of things not to think of. It's like everybody, like you could be a good technician, like you can teach, you can have a really good personality, but then the rest of the stuff, it's like, okay, what about contracts? What about agreements as far as, what about liability waivers and things like that? And all that stuff is done for you. It's already there. So it's not just the content, it's the follow-up emails. It's the, how to set up your social media, your Facebook page, your Twitter accounts. How to repurpose the content that we have and the posts that we have. I mean, Kip does a great job of that out in the Ozarks. He's always reposting our content and even coming up now with his own. And we'll even help you try to find your own voice in this, to inject your own personality into who you are. I think, which is the hardest thing.
Yes.
um because when you start teaching, you always, imitate or emulate the person who is, who's teaching you. And then, it's funny because it was like, with me, it was like definitely Carl and Yaneska, who were like the two personalities that I would, affects I would take on in my person, and how I would
Yeah.
teach. And then you find your own voice. So, there's a process here that is, extremely important. And, you've got to let it happen and understand that, there's going to be setbacks and not everything is going to go as planned. In fact, rarely anything goes as planned,
That's right. That's right.
ever.
And I was gonna just kind of jump in. I mean, you were talking about
Sure.
how we help people find places to teach and negotiate deals, contracts, etc. But I mean, there is also the option with us to teach online. So
Right.
there's yeah, that we didn't even talk about that. So I mean, there's so much opportunity, and with what you're talking about now with sort of the back office stuff now that we provide, right? So going into the instructor center, first we talked about the content that was there, sort of on the front end of everything, but now you're getting into the meat and potatoes of the back end. And one of the biggest advantages that you have when you join us is you've got the branding of the self defense company behind you. You've got years upon years of established. Uh, just established business behind you, right?
Right.
So, and I think that speaks volumes. You're not just Joe who decided one day, hey, I'm going to start up, teaching self defense,
Right.
right?
Right. And,
And
hanging
believe
your
it or
own
not, during
shingle
COVID, a
out.
lot of people did that.
Yeah. And they still do.
Yeah,
Um, I remember, starting, it's like one or two things happens. Either, well, one of three things happens. So let's say you're training someplace in a traditional style of martial art. It doesn't matter what it is. One thing that'll most likely happen is if you'll wind up teaching for your instructor. If you want to go out on your own, so three things going to happen. One is going to do nothing, which is rarely the case. Two, it's going to be a problem with him because now all of a sudden you're automatically viewed as competition.
yep,
And there's a huge ego, a lot of egos involved. A lot of the martial arts businesses are just making their just kind of eking out a living, trying to pay the bills and follow their dream, and it's stressful. So why would they encourage somebody else to open up another school basically teaching the same thing right down the road? So there's that. And then the other is some of them will come up with some type of franchise
yep,
model, which is usually a sizable investment and takes a lot of your profits. So, there are good ones out there that do work. They are. They're usually larger established schools that require you to get a large space, uh, high traffic area where usually anchored in a supermarket where parents can drop their kids off, go shopping, and come back and pick them up in an hour.
Yep.
So, this is a fine model and you can earn a good living doing that. Again, it takes a huge level of commitment and it's a different type of system because now you've got to have staff, you have to have, you're developing, you need other instructors there because you need to replicate yourself.
That's right.
And that's the hardest thing. And that's also why, I kind of started everything online is because I can only teach so many people from a couple locations. And the idea for me to have multiple locations and then manage that is just something I just didn't want to do. But I can take someone who, is teaching out of their home or teaching out of a dance studio or teaching online and doing all of these things. And I can help them, make a model that makes sense to them. So, yeah, you don't want a school, but it's like, let's say, look at like being a personal trainer, right? If you're a decent personal trainer, you could earn a living,
Yep.
And that usually comes when you're developing your own clientele, your own book, and then you're going to their houses or you're subletting a space. It's very rare that and very difficult to, let's say you work at a big established gym, usually 50% or more is going to the house. They are providing the facility, they are providing the customers that come in. So, they're providing the leads, if you will. Um, so what we're doing is like we're doing none of that. It's
Right.
like flat fee. And then we encourage you to develop other instructors because you can earn, based on, what certifications, you'll start earn out of certifications, programs, um, and that's really and that's how you stay connected and involved in developing your own instructor group. So we take that all we take the ego out of it, and really, we are deeply invested in your success.
Absolutely.
So, I know George is like the head dude, and he's on the phone regularly with people, Zoom calls and certifying and coaching and helping them develop their businesses. And it's a process. Look, like 3 to 6 months to get really rolling, and that's like doing something. If it's like 5 minutes or an hour, every day. Either training, teaching, or posting, and then being involved in your world. Um, like we said, the easiest thing is once you get signed up is one, schedule for your for level 1 certification, and two is start teaching friends and family.
Yeah, and just to kind of jump in here too.
Sure, I'll shut up.
No, 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 no. I love that you're throwing this out here, but I mean the biggest thing I think that we have too outside of the mentorship is the quick start. I mean, right from the
Yeah,
very beginning, hopping into that instructor center, we lay out a game plan that you follow step by step right from the very beginning in order to get rocking and rolling. And I mean, a
right,
lot of places claim to have a quick start, and it's not, right. It's here's the material, figure it out,
right,
right. Yeah, we completely structure it step by step by step. And like I
right,
said, you can reach out to me at any time and I'll help you personalize it if you know that you've got some clients that maybe for whatever reason you're not sure where, what program do I go with? Where do I start them, right? We're able to work together in order to get you doing that. So for those of you who are thinking about coming on board, I mean, there's never been a better time. Things are starting to open up again. People are forgetting about COVID. Now they're talking about fucking monkeypox, but whatever. There's always going to be something. Always going to be something. Apparently, that just showed
and
up again.
again, and that always going to be something. Our psyche, who knows when we're going to recover from this.
Well,
So the willingness of somebody to go to a facility where there's multiple people. There's always going to be the people the guys who trained through COVID, that are into it, those are always going to be the guys, right?
Yes,
But it's a very small percentage of the people out there. The reality is, people are scared. People are nervous for a number of reasons, and they're generally scared. And to be honest, they don't have, their grandfathers teaching them how to box in the basement.
that's right.
It's like it kind of got lost, and now you've got people who don't understand violence, who, um, and the irony is a lot of these people who don't understand violence are very quick to use it.
Yeah,
When they interpret, again, we want to talk about culture here for a bit. When you start talking about words as being violent, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't understand violence at all.
that's
Violence is
right.
violence. I can talk about punching you. It's a lot different than punching you. So, you know, um, we are and you are uh, providing a necessary life skill to people without any of the pomp and circumstance and unnecessary things that a lot of traditional solutions do. I mean, you're starting like right with the aware training, and
Yes,
so you can take that is like perfect for everyone. Doesn't matter the age. I mean, you teach somebody how to interact with their environment, make themselves a hard target, and present a more of a predator than prey attitude um, to the world. They're gonna react, and they're gonna it's gonna they can literally when I get when people will troll us like, what do you mean, teacher? Look, if you can't teach somebody something in 10 minutes, you're teaching something wrong.
yes, 100%.
So what we do and what we provide is real solutions in the shortest amount of time. Now, if somebody wants to continue with you and really, okay, so now we get into use of force tactics. Yeah, that requires more time, more training, um, more physical, a higher physical fitness level. Again, we're also not training for a title fight, right? We're training to stop an assault. And Gavin DeBecker, who was on Rogan, who was excellent, said like most assaults or confrontations are persuasive.
Yes,
Like 99% of them are where people are trying to persuade you and convince you either by words or by deed, by using force to impose their will over you. But as soon as you resist, it changes their calculus, and a lot of them will break contact. So it's not like you got to sit there and like destroy everyone that comes near you. And then there's also the power predator, which is a small 1 or 2%, according to him, that is going to like try to like take you out off the count at all costs for whatever reason.
yeah,
So
and you did an awesome podcast on that. I think it was like a few weeks ago
yeah,
where you presented that. So anybody, if you haven't seen that yet, go back and
yeah,
make sure you watch that because that was awesome stuff. So I mean, what it comes right down to, guys, is if you're looking for an opportunity to teach self defense, Damien, you hit the nail on the head when you said there's other stuff that's out there. But I mean, in my opinion, a little biased, right? But
right.
nobody is going to offer you what we do. So get in touch with us, check us out, ask your questions. I mean, throw some questions in here. We're happy to answer them. But you know what? Reach out to me personally. I'm always available to have a conversation. Not hard to reach me at all. You could all the emails if it comes through customer service or it comes
Yep.
through the self defense company. I get them. And I'm happy to have a sit down Zoom call if you're. I mean, I'm in Canada, right? But we do this internationally. I'm happy to sit down, have a Zoom call with you, answer any questions that you have, and get you kind of rocking and rolling. So, was there anything else, Damien, that we needed to talk about as far as new people who are looking at
I
coming on board?
just, let's just review. So obviously you're getting the content, you're getting the
Yep.
courseware, you're getting coaching, you're getting certification, you're getting business building from, how you're gonna market, how you're gonna present yourself, and it's ongoing,
Yeah. Then
which
you're
is
getting the mentor.
the
You're getting the
mentor, which is
mentor to work with you.
huge,
Yeah.
huge. I mean, I started this really like honestly, like my first instructor, was like, we didn't end on good terms. And then, you know, Yanni, excuse me, I got to sneeze. Yeah,
Monkeypox. Good.
thank you. Yanni was awesome, but he wasn't really giving me much in the way of other than, buy the building, which I bought my first building and was teaching there, he was that's what he, that's what his advice, which was actually not was decent advice because you'll always pay your own rent. But, I wasn't really getting any type of uh, mentorship in the way of business. And that kind of came through a shit ton of experience, a lot of failure, a lot of but again, every time we fail, we learn. So that's what you're getting, the benefits of. I mean, George's been doing this for over a decade. I'm going on 20 years. It's like, it's there. I mean, things are changing, but at the core of it, it's always the same thing. And what you're doing is offering something to somebody that they can use immediately, and they're not going to have to spend years and untold, tens of thousands of dollars to do it. And that's where we fit in. And the other thing is, you can't I can teach you how to avoid, and we can teach you how to avoid in an hour. I can teach you how to escape in like several hours. I can teach you how to fight back in like a couple weeks. It's like the more you want to do, the longer and the more force you want to use, the longer the longer the commitment of the student is. So that's the main difference. It's not all answers are at black belt, right? It's, no, answers are where you want them. It's
That's
like,
right.
where do you want to go out of this? Well, I just want to be able to, walk to my car and see if there's somebody there. I want to be able to, be able to assess that and to escape. Okay, no problem. Here you go. You're done.
Yep.
You know, but once to make no mistake, it's like where, the people you get into it, your students who get into it are going to want to train longer, and those are actually, and then you're going to take a handful of those and make them into instructors under you, and that will help expand your business and replicate yourself.
That's right. That's right. It's simple. It
Right.
really is simple. So reach out to us and get your questions answered. Right. That's what we're here for. And I mean, just to talk very, very quickly to the
George, you
existing
should put your email also in the
in
you can
the
put it in the YouTube description
yeah, I
once
can
we
go put
put. Okay, yeah,
yeah, I'll go
so
put that back in. I'll re-edit everything and put it in so that you guys
right,
have my information.
yes,
Um, so just to touch really quickly with existing instructors, you guys already know what you have access to. Uh, it's up to all of you to reach out. I mean, at the end of the day, we are here and we will continue to be here for you. But there's a saying, right? You can lead a horse to water, can't make a can't make it drink. Reach out to us. Now is an amazing time. A lot of you have reached back out and are getting rocking and rolling. COVID is no longer the stressor that it has really been for everybody. So it's the right time to get your business back on track. If you feel like you've got questions, if you feel like things are lacking, please reach out. Let us know. Whatever it is that you need, we are here to answer those questions. Is there anything, Damien, that you wanted to say to them?
yeah. I mean, here's how it goes. It's like, okay, where are you? Right? It's like, okay, I'm here in what I'm doing, and I don't know. I either have an opportunity or don't have any opportunity. So, okay, then we create an action list,
Yep.
and then we execute the list. And while as you're going through it, you will find that it will lead to something. So, and then you follow up with your next meeting and you're like, okay, this is what happened, or nothing happened. Okay, well, let's keep trying. Let's keep trying. Let's keep trying. And until eventually it happens. And then you also have to build up your own personal momentum, which means, it's like you're putting stuff out there. And the more you put it out there, while somebody may be interested now, that could be like 3 or 4 months from now or longer, where they're finally like, oh shit, I'm going to reach out to this guy
Yep.
or girl. Right. And that's where, you start building up some momentum and credibility in the world. And then it starts coming, but that only comes with you doing something,
Yes.
right? Do something. If it's a post, if it's a comment, I mean, you're on the Self Defense Company page, you can just go there, and we're reaching over 200,000 people. I mean, shit, go, right? I
Yeah.
mean, just be involved, right? I mean, and then start, talking about stuff. I mean, take some repurpose, our blog posts, or our Twitter or whatever the hell we got going on. Just use that and start talking about it. I mean, that's just the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. I mean, there's so many ways to do this. I mean, yeah, contact. I mean, going through Jim did the went contacted the battered women's shelter, and they have programs where he gets paid to go teach.
Yep.
So that's real and real money. I mean, there's opportunities here. I mean, we do letters for people. If you are, obviously, you've got to be, at least some level of certification,
Yes.
because we need to be able to know that you can actually teach and execute the stuff. So if you think like you're signing up and it's like, okay, here I am. I'm like, okay, great. I go, you want our seal of approval? You got to be able to do this stuff.
Yep.
And as some people may know, if you don't know it, we're not going to pass you.
Yes.
So, but we'll coach you and help you to come back and do it the next time.
That's right. We'll get you there.
Yeah, that's you keep showing up, we'll do it. But I mean, I've had some people that really didn't even look like they even watched the videos.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, this wasn't on there. I go, yeah, it is, dude. I'm in them.
Yeah.
I wrote it and performed, directed. I'm like, holy shit, dude. Yeah, they're there. So, just the best thing to do is to keep consistent with your mentor with your mentor calls. And I have to tell you guys, it's just like working out and training. It's not like let's don't seek perfection, just seek consistency.
Yes.
Okay, so you're like, oh yeah, I want to do 10 blog posts, whatever. I don't know, I'm just throwing something out there. I'm going to contact 20 studios in the area. I'm going to do one, right? Do just something, but just do it every day. And don't seek to like, oh, I'm setting this goal and you didn't hit your goal, because you're going to be very disappointed a lot.
Absolutely.
Right. So I can't stress this enough. If you like meeting with, say, with George, and you've got to like, okay, it's like, okay, I meet with George again in 2 weeks. Something's going to click in your head where you're like, I got to get something done, because you're going to be held accountable. Because when you show up to the next meeting, don't worry about failing. You will always fail forward if you're moving forward, right? So, you show up and you're like, all right, well, I reached out and none of this worked out. It's like, okay, well, let's do this now. And then eventually you're building this building and building and building and building, and then something will, start to break. It's funny. Like I literally, now it's like, now I know when the government agencies are at it again. It's funny. One of my friends who I'm going to have on the podcast is West Point grad. He got someone reached out to him from an agency. It was like, hey, this Damian Ross guy? And like, this guy is one of my closest friends. I coached him, when he was a little kid. He goes, yeah, kind of, so you don't know like you're out there. You don't know where this stuff comes from. And these guys were close friends. They went through West Point together. So, you just got to be constant. And I said, like, you're doing this on the side. Great. That's kind of what we want. So, but again, consistency is the key. Every day, just do a little something. Try to anyway. And then, you build up your momentum. But again, doing those calls, holding yourself accountable, creating the action lists. Yeah, all like
I'm
important.
hoping that what you're saying is coming through to people on there, because I'm getting some feedback on my end that sounds a little off. So hopefully,
Like what?
I heard like a lot of beep boop 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 beep boop boop boop
Oh,
when you were trying to talk.
oh, I look good on my end.
That's all that matters, right? You don't have to understand technology or anything in order to be an instructor with us. Like,
Right.
don't worry.
Right. Exactly. Obviously.
Yeah. So that's what we wanted to do today, guys. We wanted to, let those of you know who are thinking about doing this or who are looking for something to, what's involved, what you can get. Reach out to us. For those of you who are involved already, reach out to me. If you already have, great. Continue to reach out to me. If you haven't, there's no excuse, guys. I am here, even with all the shit going on in my life. I'm still here. I will make time. Look, it's not going to be like it was before, where I'm getting back to you within fucking 10 minutes, but
Right.
I'll get back to you as fast as I can while things are going on. We are here to support you guys 100%.
Excellent. All right, George. Awesome.
On
Thank you.
that note, I got nothing left to say.
All right.
How about
Again, post comments, reach out to George in the description. You can find the link to sign up for complete, check out the instructor program. Just go to the application page and it'll bring you through. It'll give you the details of it. If it looks good, just if you got more questions, non-committal, set up at a time to speak with George. He'll go through your particular situation and then you'll map out a plan for success if it's a good fit.
Yes.
That's it. Okay, guys, as always, thank you, George. And until next time, teach honestly.